Picture a kid on a bus across London, boots in a plastic bag, praying the next trial is the one. He grows up watching clips of Thierry Henry, copying the glide, the shoulder drop, the sudden spark that turns a tight game into a memory. He is an Arsenal boy at heart. Then the door closes. He leaves the training ground in tears, and when he bumps into the coach who let him go, the words will not come. That would break most people. It sharpened Eberechi Eze. From Sunday League cages to Crystal Palace stardom, Eze kept stitching joy into pressure. Step-overs when the stadium holds its breath. Calm finishes when the clock burns. He became the friend who never panics, the teammate who makes hard things look simple. And now, with rivals hesitating and Arsenal searching for a fresh rhythm, the dream calls again. This story is for every fan who wonders where creativity will come from, and for every player told to try again. By the end, you will know how Eze fits, why he lifts an attack built on movement and memories, and what his journey says about faith, patience, and the courage to start again. Eberechi Eze's story begins in Greenwich on a council estate where a small yellow cage was his first stadium. He and his friends made goals from jumpers and learned touch and timing in tight spaces. At the back of an equipment hire shop, there was a barbed wire fence and a car park with dogs on the other side. If the ball went over after closing time, it stayed there until morning. Sometimes it popped on the wire. Those games taught control, courage, and the joy that made him fall in love with football. Community sessions led to Sunday League, then Pro Stars in South London and Bruin. Scouts noticed, Arsenal signed him at 9, and football became an identity as much as an activity. When Arsenal released him at 13, it felt like losing a piece of himself. Family and faith steadied him. Trials followed. Southend offered a contract, but the fit did not feel right. Fulham did, and there he met Dan Thomas and Kevin Betsy, who rebuilt belief and pushed him forward. He faced Arsenal soon after and could barely hold back tears. Then came the release again at Christmas. Reading said no after a long trial. Millwall took him for a scholarship, then let him go. Confidence dipped, but the door at QPR opened. Chris Ramsey, Andy Impey and Paul Hall sharpened his understanding of work, responsibility and freedom on the ball. A loan to Wickham under Gareth Ainsworth brought trust, minutes and the space to express himself. Looking back, Eze does not point fingers. He says he was not ready then and that the setbacks forced him to grow. Faith is his anchor. On the day he ruptured his Achilles, he also learned of his first England call-up. He chose gratitude, patience and the long view. He returned, earned the shirt and now uses his platform to inspire others to believe, apply themselves and keep going. A homecoming year in the making. Arsenal have confirmed Eberechi Eze on a long-term deal. The England international returning to North London as the club's new number 10, the badge he dreamed of wearing when he was a kid in the academy. It is not just romance, it is timing, ambition, and a player who has grown into one of the league's most creative match winners. How it happened matters. Tottenham moved first after losing their chief creator to a serious knee injury, reaching an agreement with Crystal Palace and settling personal terms. Palace asked for patience so he could feature in Europe, and Spurs paused. Then Kai Havertz suffered a knee setback, and Arsenal accelerated. According to The Athletic, Eze phoned Mikel Arteta on Wednesday to ask if Arsenal was still an option. Arteta said a meeting was due later, and by the evening the move was green-lit. Using Spurs' fee as a benchmark, Arsenal stepped in with a package worth £60 million plus £7.5 million in add-ons. Once Eze made it clear he wanted Arsenal, the tide turned. The deal advanced quickly, Spurs backed away, and the story flipped from near certain white to red. For Eze, the circle is complete. Released as a teenager, he returns as a leader.
What's your full name?
Eberechi Eze.
What was the first Arsenal match you attended?
At the Emirates, I was 10 or 11. Couldn't coach against. Could be United.
Describe your Arsenal move in a word.
Perfect.
Fresh from delivering Crystal Palace their first major trophy with a Wembley winner in May. That journey from Greenwich cages to FA Cup glory and now the Emirates explains why Arsenal pushed so hard and why the fanbase already feels connected to him. It is a signing powered by fit and feeling as much as by numbers, a move that promises spontaneity in tight spaces and calm when the game is loud. For the boy once left in tears, the dream is real at last. Eze's game is built on control under pressure, gliding in traffic and the calm to pick the right pass when the box is crowded. He carries the ball through lines, draws defenders and releases runners at the last possible moment. That blend of dribbling and decision-making is why coaches trust him between the lines. In 2023 to 2024, he ranked among the league's best for successful take-ons, and that 1v1 threat still anchors his profile. Add composure in big moments and you have a creator who changes the tempo of attacks rather than just adding touches. The cleanest starting point is the left wing, playing as an inverted playmaker who drifts onto the left half space. Arsenal have been heavily right-sided through Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard.
The final squad of 26, which Darren Southgate will name on Saturday, so just 6 days away now until we find out the final 26. And a lot of those...
So Eze tilts the pitch back toward balance. With an overlapping left-back providing width, he can receive inside, combine or shoot, while Viktor Gyökeres pins centre-backs and offers a wall pass for third-man runs. At Crystal Palace, Jean-Philippe Mateta's central presence gave Eze a sturdy post to bounce off. In North London, Gyökeres is not the same player, but brings similar gravity and link-up, so the partnership should translate. This is a natural extension of his Palace role, only now within a team that dominates the ball against deep blocks. He also fits as the left-sided number 8 when Mikel Arteta wants two playmakers to unpick low blocks. That role gives him more touches in central zones and shares creative responsibility, so Arsenal do not become predictable when Odegaard is out or crowded. Eze delivered 8 Premier League assists last season, matching Odegaard's league tally, which suggests the pair can alternate as the primary final third connector without the attack stalling if one is missing.
I've been born for this. I'm finding, keep on rising. I'm climbing, I keep rising.
There is even a situational case as a false 9. Eze likes to receive to feet, roll markers and slip runners, and Arsenal have looked sharp before with a connective forward linking the two number 8s. In matches that flip into transition, his ball carrying through the centre can pull centre-backs out for open lanes for Saka or a late-arriving midfielder. Layer those roles on top of his big game temperament, from Palace's cup run to his England breakout, and the fit is clear. Arsenal signed in for creativity, press resistance and versatility across the front 5. 14 years after leaving in tears, the kid from the yellow cage comes home in the shirt he dreamed about. This is not just a transfer, it is a promise kept. It is the journey from rejection to redemption, from borrowed pitches behind a hire shop to the biggest stage in North London. Arsenal paid £67.5 million for talent, of course, but also for temperament. They moved when it mattered, reading the moment, sensing hesitancy across the road and trusting the pull of a boyhood allegiance that never really faded. What arrives is more than a highlight